Hello everyone, I'm Hugo.
Hi.
And that's Jake.
Hi.
And this is Jake Reads Your Comments
Welcome.
today.
I'm a little nervous.
Why would we've done this for years.
If new viewers think I'm bashful about it, maybe they'll be like, I like that guy. I can relate. I too am a bashful person.
No. I don't
Okay,
think so.
fine. I'm very confident it makes you uncomfortable.
So today, we're going to be reading some of your comments and responding to them.
Yay! Fan interaction!
So here we go. Taco222. Trace dose.
Trace dose!
Dear Hugo. Dear Hugo and the Badger, if you were medical doctors, what specialty would you select and why?
Oh, man.
This is a scenario where it's like you don't know what you don't know, so I don't know enough about medical
Well, what do you
things.
just pick a part on the body and specialize in it?
Orthopedic hand surgeon.
Orthopedic hand surgeon?
I feel like they make a
What
lot
makes it orthopedic?
I don't know. I'm not one, so I don't know.
Why hands?
I think
Because they're complex?
They're complex, and when you specialize in the hand, I don't know. Actually, you know what? That's too much pressure. Can you imagine? Think how much pressure I put on myself when we do anything in public, even when we're when we're just doing what we do here, but in front of people. Imagine I'm like, this is a piano player, and their entire life depends on you fucking not Doctor Stranging their hands up. I'd be like, oh my god, I can't do it. So no, I'm gonna say, what's the opposite of something really important?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say, what's the opposite of hands? The answer's feet, so...
I'll be a foot surgeon, sure.
Alright.
I feel like a lot of the pressure's off, because, like, if your foot gets fucked up, like, we have stumps for that. We have
stumps?
We have, like...
I don't know, give him one of those stumps! I don't think... Alright.
Peg legs?
Yeah, no one...
Might be a pirate person, I don't know.
Imagine going in for gout and coming out with a peg leg. That's Dr. Hugo. I'm thinking the most interesting doctor would probably be a neurosurgeon.
If the bar is Ben Carson, I think you would probably
I think you can walk on. Like it's like a college sports team. You just try out and they're like, "Yeah, you're not an idiot. Sure, we don't really know what this thing does. Poke it and don't ruin it."
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. All right. That's it. Thanks, Taco. Trace dose.
Fidgen! Oh, that's a good name. Dear Hugo and Jake, you often identify yourselves as progressive rather than liberal. What are the difference between these two labels?
Hillary Clinton v. Bernie Sanders. Although she's more of a neo-lib. I don't know that there's a fundamental difference, colloquially speaking. Liberals are just closer to the center than a progressive would be. We're not leftists, so I think progressive is the most... honest?
Leftist would be someone who wants to seize the means of production, correct?
And right now I'm fine with, well, not fine with it, but I would prefer if there was a mix of productions. So I'm for a mixed system. As far as progressive, I think basically progressives in general, and this is just because it's like a colloquial term, it's hard to pin down. I feel like it's mostly socially libertarian for the most part. You flirt with socialism, but you don't go all the way because it's like socialism's like your Mormon girlfriend or boyfriend. You're like, maybe just soak. You know what I mean? We'll just soak for a while. We'll soak in it. We'll bask in it. We'll get pruny, and then
truly someday
we'll get married and we'll do it, and then you'll be one of my wives.
300 years from now, we'll look back on Jake and his soaking metaphor will be taught in elementary schools to explain economic systems.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not all the way. It's just, I mean, it's a lot, and it counts. For the record, soaking counts. You're not in there. Anyway, liberals to me are probably more capitalist, and I think, and probably socially speaking, especially on issues like gender and more intricate forms of sexuality, like try explaining bimodal sex to a liberal, and it suddenly, like, things start to break down. It's like old people. They're old people. Did I do a good job?
I don't know.
You can chime in at any time.
Have we ever done a good job?
There's two captains on this ship, and I'm driving us into an iceberg, and you're just letting me.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll be Leo. That's fine.
Leo wasn't the
No.
Billy Zane was.
But he got a
Billy Zane was the true captain.
He got to sink down to the inky blackness. And that's
really the void is what we're here for. All right.
Big boy solid. Dear Hunger and SJW. Oh yeah, did you guys hear about that?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your take on the idea of the marketplace of ideas that every opinion is equal and should be challenged? Mr. Paul's ego seems to think ridiculous ideas should not only not be laughed at, but should be platformed to be debated.
Okay, I think there's lots of ideas that should be platformed and debated.
Practically speaking, at the end of the day, we have a finite amount of time
Right.
and platforms. Therefore, we are all, when we are deciding what we are platforming, especially as people with a platform, we are making a decision as to what is important to us. For instance, like Sargon of Akkad. There are plenty of things I would debate with him at this point, and I hate his opinions, but I would...
And he lost!
Did he? Okay, good. But I wouldn't waste the time at this point bringing him on here, because I feel like he's not worth the time, and his opinions aren't worth debating because there's such a foregone conclusion, for me at least, that they're shit. There are some opinions, because you have to prioritize, that you just say, that shit... moving on. You know what I mean?
Like I wouldn't have debated abortion 4 years ago, but now I'm forced to. It's kind of why we stayed out of politics. Even though we both enjoy politics, we stayed out of like the political discussions for quite some time because not a lot of it. We weren't in such turmoil all the time. You know, say what you will about Barack Obama and the administration, but it was a solid administration. You can agree or disagree with any of the policies, but we didn't have like a fucking like schism at any point during those 8 years. And we had just come out of one in George W. Bush with, you know, 9/11 shit and all the nonsense. So it was nice to have like stability for a while. And so like, you know, people would bring up like, maybe the blacks are bad. You'd be like, we move on. But now it's like, oh, the blacks are bad, and you see them with torches, and you're like, maybe we should
address this.
Address that.
Yeah.
Should we look at that? So yeah, it's it depends contextually. The idea that every idea deserves like respect is silly though. Like if someone comes up to you and goes like, they're turning the frogs gay. There's lizards. There's lizard people, and they live in an upside down world at the core of the earth. Maybe just, you know, that's not a big deal right now. You know what I'm saying? If the lizard people attack with their drill machines, like they inevitably will, then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
They create sunlight with sound waves. My Twitch fans know what I'm talking about.
But light is...
Oh, don't worry about that.
Laura T. Dear Hugo and Hake, would you ever have seen yourselves falling down the anti-SJW rabbit hole, and what do you think of folks like Armored Skeptic and Carl Benjamin?
Great question, Clara. Also, I like the last two people had the pronouns clearly out there. She, her for Clara, and Big Boy Solid was he, him. I made a very strong case, I think, for this on Twitter. I now have my pronouns, even though, you know.
I don't think we ever would have fallen down actually doing anti-SJW content, but we certainly flirted with allowing those people on the channel, which I've apologized for at this point on Twitter many times.
Yeah.
Like when we had Carl Benjamin Sargon on to do like a chick tract and stuff, like...
Because that was... They were doing Gamergate shit, and I was like, I don't fucking care about that.
Had I known at the time the harm that kind of thing could do, and this comes back to platforming again, this is why I feel like we have to prioritize who you bring onto your platform. Even if at the time you think it's benign, it can grow into this thing, and I just wasn't aware of the problem at the time, but...
I'm looking forward to, hopefully, getting someone like a ContraPoints on to do the tract we did with Carl. She does follow me, but she's just busy as fuck, obviously. To redo some of those old tracks, I think would be a lot of fun. As far as ever falling down into it, God no. The ideas are bad. The main critique is, like, free speech. And it's like, they're not really advocating to take away your free speech. I had a debate not too long ago. Have you heard about the Mortal Kombat 11 stuff?
What about it?
So Mortal Kombat 11 is the new Mortal Kombat coming out, and
it came out. I have it.
And they de-titified a lot of things. It's just not so gratuitous with their stuff. And so, of course, the anti-SJW crowd was like, they're censoring their shit due to outrage from the left. And then they formed outrage mobs and were like, you should change it so there's more titties. And I tried to explain, and I think he understood at the end of the conversation, tried to explain to this guy, you're the SJW in that situation. You're the one that is advocating to censor the art of another person because it's not what your sensibilities would prefer. Yeah. You are violating their free speech in that scenario, their freedom of expression. They don't seem to understand that they're way worse monsters than anything they thought, like, Anita Sarkeesian ever was. It's like when you see atheists who believe in ghosts. Like, your logic should follow a path, and it should be consistent. When it stops being consistent, you become a hypocrite. And that's the problem we have with the anti-SJW crowd, is not only are their ideas bad, they often tend to be hypocritical when it comes to the logical pathways in which they form their opinions. Someone like Greg isn't as bad as someone like Sargon at all. I don't ever want to... I barely like to speak their names in the same sentence because it's such a different brand, right? I feel like someone like Armored Skeptic, he does some good videos. Like, there are things that he addresses that I think he does a fine job on. And then there's other stuff where it's just like he kind of just talks out of his ass. And, I mean, you know, everyone does that from time to time, but it just seems like someone calling themselves Armored Skeptic should probably hold up to that standard. Someone like Sargon of Akkad, I mean, he's a lost fucking cause. You know, he's correct about, like, the God question and maybe some other small shit, but I mean, like, nothing that outweighs the kind of harmful behavior he exhibits. On the other side of that is Steve Shives, who unblocked me on Twitter.
You know what? I'm just gonna say this now. I owe Steve an apology.
Well,
you can disagree with me on this. I wasn't. Steve was right on a lot of things. Steve
has always been right on a lot of things.
He saw the right-wing, alt-right shit coming way before we did, and he understood.
Yeah,
I didn't understand.
But blocking people without conversations that would otherwise support you is not great. And as soon as he unblocked me, I saw some stuff I immediately disagreed with. A lot of gatekeepy, like, purity test stuff, which is my problem with that entire thing. And it's like, let people undo their mistakes and come back to the correct side, and if you gatekeep them, they're not going to. But, like, if your opposite to Sargon is Steve Shives, they're not on the same coin. Steve Shives is a much kinder person. He means well. He's not right about everything, but who is? The idea of the anti-SJW crowd is so fucking yikesy to me. There's lots of really, really good anti-SJWs. Making a lot of good content all over the place. Lots of streamers, lots of YouTubers, and we're one of them. Hey. Oh, Taco came twice? I didn't realize this. I won't do that again. Okay?
Does that make it...
It's the last time you're shown on here. That's not true.
Dear Hugo Lecter and Jake the Ripper, that's alright.
That's not bad.
Do you think vaccinations should be mandatory? I think parents should be at the liberty to raise their children as they see fit within reason. For instance, if you don't feed your spawn, that's neglect. I think skipping vaccinations also qualifies as neglect, and is possibly even worse since unvaccinated gremlins can turn into petri dishes and spread germs around to other children who can't get vaccinated because of valid medical reasons. What are your thoughts? I think what some states have been doing so far is pretty good. No exemptions except for medical reasons, and you can't get into public school. Like, I don't necessarily think there should be a law that's like...
Stab your kid.
You have to get a vaccination, but, like...
Yeah, you're cut off.
But banning kids from public schools, maybe even places like public parks if they don't have a vaccination.
I don't know how you...
I don't know how you, like, enforce that, but you know what I mean?
You know what would be good?
Okay, what?
Like, if your kid is, like, 6 years old, and you opted out of or whatever age, and you opted out of vaccines, and because that'd be a record, right? You didn't get your kid vaccinated, and you get someone fucking sick, like, there should be a penalty to that.
Sure.
I don't know what. I don't necessarily want people to go to prison. I think we incarcerate way too much. But I wouldn't hate, like...
a fine?
Like, even like, covering the medical bills that aren't covered by insurance or whatever, to the family that has to deal with their kid getting measles because maybe they are immunodeficient, or maybe they have cancer, or there's various reasons that someone or a person just gets measles. Yeah, I think there should be some repercussion. I don't think it should include any sort of prison. But I mean, hitting people in their pocketbooks. You'd be surprised how many people have really staunch beliefs until those beliefs are not helpful. But I don't know. Is there any... I can't think of an ethical reason to not vaccinate your child unless they are compromised in a way that would, like AIDS or something.
Not for anything other than medical reasons at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, the verdict's been in for quite a while on vaccines. They are a good thing.
Mm.
At the very least, if you value the life of your child, they're a good thing, and the well-being of others around you. If you don't, I can't force you, but maybe the government can.
We don't even like kids that much, and
the only thing I hate more than a healthy kid is a sick kid.
Oh man, the snot on their lip. Oh, fucking kill me. That drives me nuts. Anytime I see a kid with snot and they lick it or does that drive you nuts? It drives me absolutely insane.
I was a snot licker as a kid. Yeah, I
would have punched your face.
Because it was so salty. I'd be like... I was a gross kid. I'm a gross adult.
You don't do that now, do you?
No. Got over the
Did you
snotty.
eat boogers?
No.
Me either. I didn't know that was a thing until like TV shows.
Yeah.
And my kid brain was like, "Why the fuck would you do that, you idiot?" I don't know. Do you guys eat boogers? I bet they do. What percentage of our fan base do you think eats boogers? 80%. 80% of you are booger eaters.
Unintentionally Edge Boy. That should have been the early name of our channel as well.
Unintentionally Edge Boys.
Yeah. Dear Hugo, Titus, and Jades, why do you think that older generations so often have the misconception that younger people are entitled?
That's a really good question. What? I don't know. Do you think there's a reason they think that we're entitled?
I think that every generation thinks that to an extent of the generations below them, probably because, objectively speaking, younger people have the benefit of many of the things you didn't, just because the passage of time goes. And for instance, kids have the internet, they have resources, they have, at the same time, wages have stagnated, though.
Yep.
But that's a thing that you don't see necessarily.
Sure.
All you see as an adult, maybe, are all these kids
with
going...
phones.
Sure,
and
phones.
You think this is expensive, so it's like...
Without recognizing that, hey, you can't get a job or do anything if you don't have a phone. You know what I mean? You're at a disadvantage.
It's like a prerequisite.
So, I think it comes from that. The most visible things tend to be things like phones, things like computers, things like the social atmosphere in general, maybe being a little more open to different kinds of people. But the things that you don't see, wage stagnation, people working dead-end jobs, people doing multiple jobs, people going to school, and how much that costs overall, and the books and stuff. That's things you don't see if you're not, directly in it. So I feel like that's why it's a perspective thing.
I mean, not to get too lefty on. I think it comes from a place of privilege, because a lot of our parents, not everybody's, but a lot of them, at least the culture, the boomers come from war hero people. They come or people who claim to be, or people who knew people. World War II ends, and they have some kids, and then Vietnam, and then and we had really good economic times for quite some time.
Sure.
I mean, there was definitely dips and stuff in the 70s or 60s, 70s, and 80s.
When the boomers were growing up, we were the world's #1 manufacturing powerhouse because all of
I know. I mean, we had oil shortages and stuff like that.
Sure, but Europe's entire infrastructure during World War II was fucking decimated.
Right, and so they think because we are growing up, I'm 30 and I'm a millennial, right?
Yeah.
They think, oh, the kids are ruining it. We used to be #1. When, any action that I've taken since I could vote in 12 years has not done a lot of damage to the country, you know what I mean? At 30, you're just now getting to the point where you really can affect change in the world, and even, until my mid-40s, I probably won't be able to actually, do anything of substance, if I even ever do. Some of my peers might, I don't know. But we're also more visible. We're the most visible in history due to social media and other shit. And we all kind of have a mini platform at least. And they think that's probably very strange.
Yeah.
So they think, oh, look at all these uppity kids. Like, I get it. You're a boomer and you're wrong about a lot of stuff. And it's probably weird to hear that. So yeah, I think they're kind of left behind with technology, and then all the stuff you said sounds pretty correct. So yeah.
All good guy. Dearest succulent sweet Hugo and crispy Jake.
I like that one a lot.
Okay, sure.
I feel like you could bite into Hugo like a ripe pear.
I definitely have a gooey center. It might be nougat.
Do you think you're nougaty?
If I'm anything inside, it's nougat.
I was gonna...
That or blood. What are the chances we will see a video focused on Elon Musk in the future? Would be neat to have a succinct example of your views on him and Tesla.
You know, it might not be bad to do a video essay in the new studio when that's finished on Elon Musk.
And just lay out my case and like, here's why I talk about him so much, because I'm telling you, I'm calling
I'll
it
play
now
the fanboy.
So much like Enron and like Elizabeth Holmes and like Fire Festival, there's fucky financial shit going on at Tesla. And Elon's at the heart of it, and I am telling you, I am the soothsayer. I am here to tell you that shit is happening, and I'm planting my flag on the fuck Elon Musk train.
Okay.
Is
that where flags go?
Land all the rockets you want, Elon. It won't save you from the SEC. It will, because they don't do anything.
Oh.
But,
okay.
Also,
That'd be interesting, though.
I also just think he's, like, emblematic of a shitty wealth culture in this country. Like, people are like, Elon Musk, he's, like, real-life Iron Man. He's blah, 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 blah.
People like that push me left.
Yeah, he grew up in South Africa, and his family owned a fucking emerald mine, some of which he took and sold to, like, Macy's or something. There's a story about that.
He's got a little money. He's always had a little money.
Elon Musk is not an example of someone you should look up to.
Like self-made. Oprah?
Fine.
Oprah's kind of self-made?
I think the concept of self-made millionaire, billionaire is flawed in the first place, because so much of that relies on luck and being in the right place at the right time. I think in our culture we just focus and deify these people for the amount of money they have, and it's disgusting, and it's the root of a lot of our problems, because we refuse to see these people as emblematic of our issues and instead like an escape from our issues. We don't say, hey, maybe a big problem is that Elon Musk, people like Elon Musk make billions of dollars, have billions of dollars that's just sitting there and not helping anyone. Like, no human being should have that much wealth and be able to accumulate. They're like a human dragon just sitting on their pile of gold.
Ooh, I like that.
It's disastrous for society if we allow this kind of thing to continue.
So are you for earnings cap?
I don't know the solution. That's the problem. I recognize the problem, but also know I don't know the solution. I'm not an economist.
I think a personal wealth cap without an estate, or inheritance, I guess. Do it like, well, not without inheritance, because I don't think if you die you should just be like your family's fucked. But I think like a cap on that as well.
I think there already is. It's like the inheritance tax doesn't kick in, and at least not severely, until it's over like $10 million or something.
Right, but I think we should really address it. But
the problem is people in this country don't think of themselves as, I'm a working class person. They, somewhere in their brain, still think, well, someday I'm still gonna make it. Therefore, they don't want to do policies that'll actually impose taxes on these people, because someday I might be that person.
Right.
It's
really fucking weird how people body block, like, for billionaires and stuff. Like, I'm sorry, you're probably never going to be a billionaire. There's like a handful. Like, you can't fill up like an auditorium, like a good-sized one, with all the billionaires. Like, maybe someday you will, and many of them are Saudis. But you're not a Saudi prince. You're not going to inherit oil fields. You're not a Texas oil baron, so there's more oil there. You're not a tech genius. And you're probably not a fraudster. So, I mean, like, those are the major ways you become a billionaire. You know, or inherit the company. So you'd already functionally be a billionaire if that was the case, which you're not. So, like, I don't know why it's strangely culty.
Yep.
Anyway. Wholesomeness!
Lunos, here, Hugo. I really appreciate you coming out as bi on the JLP stream you might have earlier on this channel, but this was the first time I recall you disclosing it. That is the first time I talked about it, just because he was being homophobic and weird, and I kind of wanted to weird him out. So it was an opportune time to come out about that to you guys. It's just never really been relevant to what we've talked about, but it was really encouraging to have someone who has built up so much ethos with me be willing to open up about that part of yourself, despite it might get you undeserved hate. Thank you. No question, just wanted to express my gratitude.
Did you get any hate at all? I didn't see any.
If there was, I mean, people,
from JLP fans, but I mean, like,
yeah, I don't know, not really though.
Yeah,
people were positive about it, which is nice. It's just,
yeah,
it is what it is.
I know most of that rolls right off of you, but, well, like all of it, but I don't know. It was representing them, like, and people like that, and it meant a lot to a lot of people. So I thought that was cool. I'm sorry. I'm just a straight white. Sorry. Apologies. I represent everything that oppresses you. So, I don't know. That's the end of that. I just thought it was wholesome. So thank you for the messages. What else are we doing? We're working on a new studio. Probably next week. It can't be too expensive to put up. I need a chair and a desk, and we already have a mic. We might need another camera. So we might be saying farewell to the set soon. But I think we'll do one last episode on this set, and we'll really give it a send off.
Afterward, you should get this couch steam cleaned because it probably smells like our butts.
I've never smelled it. Turns out I don't smell where our butts go very often. Maybe I should.
It's probably a good move.
What if I get a taste for it, though? And then I'm like, oh, we don't sit on it anymore. It won't recoup the freshness of the booty. That's what I'm scared of. That's why I don't eat human flesh, either. You never know.
So, you can always follow us on Twitter at PapaBirdJake.
Cravings are strange. You could follow Hugo at Hugo Reloaded. You could donate to the channel via our Patreon. Woo! It helps a lot. Keeps the proverbial lights on.
And the literal lights on.
Yeah, because we couldn't pay for those.
Yeah. You can also send us stuff to this P.O. box that is magically on the screen.
We have ancient pirate coins, abortion stickers.
This one is just evolution is an anti-god religion, not science.
Oh, well, that's good.
Please be sure mounting surface is clean and dry before attaching this sticker. Are you clean and dry?
I'm dry.
That's good.
Because
I am incredibly moist.
It goes in the middle here.
Are
you putting it on me? Not the glasses. Oh. Do you want to be linked?
Should have done bumper sticker nips.
I mean, you did. Oh. That was hot. That was like a strip show.
Anyway. This episode's gone on far too long. This is a
most do.
This is a meandering
close
mess, and
it didn't mean to be. I don't know. You were doing a bit. I didn't want to cut you off.
It was less of a bit, and more just
I don't know what to do with my hands.
You know,
but camera.
Sometimes my brain just does stuff.
That's fine. That's
Since
good.
The mushrooms, it don't work so good.
I have been staring at that penis. For like 13 straight episodes. I need you to move it.
The glass dick or the
That's a good.
This is a revelatory moment for me. The glass dick or the penisman drawings?
No, the glass one.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a lot of. It's just like I keep staring. There we go.
Where do you want me to put it?
Well, that's fine. It's. I don't know. I always keep staring at it.
I'll just hold it until the next episode.
All right.
I almost forgot the balls.